Tēnā koutou katoa from Ako Mata Tupu, Teach First NZ. This is a story of an organisation doing its very best to be Indigenous-led, to learn to listen from our ancestors, and how we've created a pathway into teaching from the communities that we serve. The colonisers' story is that Captain James Cook discovered New Zealand in the 1700s. He named it, claimed it, framed it as his own. Some would say that Captain James Cook got what he deserved in the end. However, the first story of Aotearoa is of an ingenious trickster named Maui, who one day stowed away aboard his brother's boat, took his grandmother's jawbone and caught a great fish. And that boat are the islands that we know of as Aotearoa, New Zealand. And Maui, what an ancestor to learn from. My own people come from a small island in the South Pacific called Tonga, linked by ancient voyages and blood ties to Māori of Aotearoa. One of the objects we have in our culture is the gali, which is a headrest, a pillow from pre-colonial times. And that shape, that gali, is used now as a symbol for the mother's arm and what we learn there when we lie in that safe space and she whispers to us as we fall asleep. At Ako Mata Tupu, we are learning to listen to the whispers of our ancestors and all the wisdom they have to impart. From our ancestors in Hawaii, we have learnt Aohe pauka ike e ka halau ho'okahi, which is all knowledge is not taught in the same school. In 2014, one of our Indigenous fellows was told that it would be very inconvenient for her to submit her assessments in Te Reo Māori, the first language of Aotearoa, New Zealand. In 2017, another one of our fellows was told that his ancestral knowledges did not count as research. And in 2018, our Indigenous alumni gathered and they called for a mighty dragon who would come and protect them and fight for their right to succeed as Māori. Today we have 4 dragons on our staff and 2 of them are here today, Naira and Whitu. So our Hawaiian family, they told us, Aohe pauka ike i ka halau ho'okahi. All knowledge is not taught in the same school, and the schools that were educating our teachers were failing them. And so, in 2019, Ako Mata Tupu fought to become its own university, so that never again would any of our fellows be punished for being Māori. In 2020, we launched our own teaching program and formal qualification that is equivalent to every teaching qualification in our country. And in 2021, we launched the Rautahi Pathway, which I'll talk about today. All knowledge is not taught in the same school. Learning does not necessarily happen between the bells. Learning should not be confined or defined by the classroom. Whether we are sailing, carving, singing, dancing, we are all learning always. In Aotearoa, we learnt that ko te piku o te mahuri, te rā te tupu o te rākau. The way the sapling is shaped determines how the tree grows. Education should not take from you your language. Education should not denigrate or eviscerate your culture or make you feel small. Education should not take you from your family, either physically or by value systems. Education should not determine your worth by the number of pieces of paper you have. And schools have a duty to shape our children alongside their families, communities, and peoples. Rautahi means first leaf, and it is a pathway into teaching for extraordinary candidates who don't happen to have the right pieces of paper. So like many of the programs in the network, this is how our traditional program worked. The candidate graduated university, applied to the program, began teaching in the partner school, served the 2 years, and at the end graduated with a recognised teaching qualification. Through the Rautahi pathway, candidates are identified by the school already working in the school or community. They are untrained, probably poorly paid. And then the second step is that Ako Mata Tupu partners with the school with a joint commitment to grow that candidate. The candidate then undertakes a 100-hour training program to equip them with the postgraduate skills that they need to succeed, delivered by the team that's here. And then they complete the program on equal footing with everyone else in their cohort. Over the last 3 years, we've attracted through this pathway experienced builders, professional sports people, accomplished musicians, and most importantly, Indigenous knowledge holders who want to shape the future of their communities and our nation. We learn from our relatives in Samoa, e fofo e le alamea. And this is the story of the crown of thorns starfish. And if you're walking along the beach in Samoa, and lucky you to be walking along the beach in Samoa, and you stand on this starfish, your foot will be poisoned. But the cure to that poison lies on the underside of the starfish. The solutions to the problems faced by our communities lie within those communities. Our cohort 24 at the moment looks like this. 26% of them will be school referrals. 28% of them will come through the Rautahi pathway, which means that 54% of our candidates for 2024 will be given to us and grown with the community that they come from. Those candidates are not leaving those communities after 2 years. They are in it for life. And most importantly, of that cohort, 25% of them will be Māori language teachers, and that outnumbers any other program in our country, possibly all the other programs put together. The solutions to the problems faced by communities lie within those communities. Another way I might express that is only the hood can heal the hood. At Ako Mata Tupu, we do not believe that the best teacher for a brown child is a brown teacher. We do believe that the best teacher for a brown child is the one who loves them and who will work urgently to rectify the world for them and with them. The Rautahi pathway enables all those who are called to the work to join hands in teaching for change in Aotearoa, New Zealand. And from us, from Ako Mata Tupu, from the mighty Pacific Ocean, from our mountains and rivers, lands and people, to Ukaveth and Teach for Kenya, and all of those who have welcomed us to Africa, and your mountains and your rivers, we thank you, we thank you. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Te maraie Mauri a maira E ngā mate au te motu e Me ngā tiniro e mata E maringi whanui e Ara titi o e ngā iwi E ngā mauri o te motu E ora ake nei e Ruana te whenua, whati te moana. Aue te aroha, te mama i aue. Aue te aroha, te mama i aue. Ruana te whenua, whati